Yes, Ghana for me Sammy Gyamfi and an ho ka dia mu no Ghana for say me no ka say yes Sammy Gyamfi GoldBod now down on Bank of Ghana e dia betu dia say Sammy Gyamfi hwe de wi a eniemesi kono a o koso sponsor Sammy Gyamfi and aso de sika ewura GoldBod mu a wa hwe ya NDC for free power na wa konsa wam etu ono susu de wo bi da no ehun bibiem na enye NDC na ba power kono Bank of Ghana governor no akane order sawam eti enenya me ya adoba se NDC aba power eso ba be twitwa ade na so ankodan sawam a de Sammy Gyamfi ye no o dimi nto aso biem eti Ghana for and the GoldBod say tin ton time one GoldBod to kwanta o mayre apai because it seems as a GoldBod no omo de buy so omo be wia Ghana for eti Bank of Ghana say ai what onim GoldBod o be biem eti wasremo want me nyere emphasika enwura GoldBod mu biem na GoldBod ye bo mine ka ai it is a one okas want me first can no say NDC for ebeji omutumi a anaso mbeji ni post no mudi amano na ai omonye no ede wa bre o Ghana for enim guase aba no ene asem ketwa Ghana for me ba question me busa say Sammy Gyamfi after 2028 election na say amemo edane a obeko jail and I won't go jail obeko adaso onko atofo ase wo de antofo wantefo wo ye lucky onya ni 3D mu no ai wada ono so obeko jail and aso onko jail Ghana for mamelika hu adwenkyere e ho kra asema ye dai mato aso ai atofo ase ene Sammy Gyamfi GoldBod nsensemi hu a ene Bank of Ghana abeyi ni hu afiri mu yi so on de won ka hu bi na ai na se mo pekrampa omonyi omadwuma no Ghana for me se atofo ase ene ye friends Sammy Gyamfi se amemwo dane a ombeko jail na aso munko jail na ombeko jail so how many years 20 times 20 winima bosha homame eti Ghana for answer me bo video no kwa mo nya bia hwe no message sa channel ni di voiceofnsawamtv say ene first time I hear me videos na wa subscribe to my YouTube channel na dai ama me uwia no like no share no sa comment notification baby ba now don't say me aso say be ya anytime bia voiceofnsawam me di new video betum bia no wonsa so betum aye dai akab Ghana for mo me yenko hwe emra omoye media budget we no omode ba ya minority for be true madwen na your friends answer ye be sacrifice ntie saka ye say Bank of Ghana entimi nyedai enye sponsor GoldBod nubiem because bo mine ka no Ghana for mo me yenko team na ne enkofo atofo se betwa antro se Ghana ekoye a ejomfo ma eso buafu gidigjem ni atofo se e dia bo ani wo ejom ho a enya asem koto no mo me yenko hwemra wo wi ma me hu adwenche me da ase
ba se de abba eni se Bank of Ghana say on finance GoldBod bi
Bank of Ghana say on finance
GoldBod bi omo ye ho hyehyeye ne ade nyina enti megidi se finance minister ebe ka ho asem ha na se ohwe now ye trade surplus na ye obe $8.8 billion trade surplus de ye de ekwa amanone koton ene de edi free amanone baha no utiti free ma be 8.8 billion na 8.8 billion no se budget iba ni e ka se annual component a eye gold no eye be 12 billion e wo se Ghana e de ensegueti because na che say so all deductions ni wi a ya nhwe ya ye the gold no Dutch disease bi na say oil pie ba bi a na mo jai koko Nigeria say no mu ye koko mu ye afuo pa o oil ni pie ho no e na omu jai sa niam ni nyina ti se gold ya ye di se yen sas ye di se koko ye di se we no eti se obewie gold nso ye rubber industry a robot is any arm rubber eti se o de be 3 years etu ho se asas ni wi a wo ye hwe wo ho enye yi gold nso asa wo ho untimi nkwe na efi that time e ko no na ekom ni ahokire na ade aba o man ni 97.9 enti na wonni ho nimdi a yenyae ne saa me enye saa de na ye no na now saa no iti the Dutch disease no ba yeso ye de anya oil nko a gold na gold no so small scale titiru ene the so called galamsey ena ebedi ewu hwɛ now your foreign exchange reserves deplete your reserves na your build ye na ma ye see the near stronger no na yetnya bi edi wura mu no now on say this month ya start ya dey last month ya dey 1.2 billion dollars ewura mu a eti ekọ be 10 point something to a dollar no say apeja ni mu a interbank no mpo no it's now 11.6 around 11.6 say apeja ko ehin ne be kwa akonya because the pressure ne ba import of oil any debt payment servicing no eba muwie na the pressure beto because Bank of Ghana say omu ebeso om release financial stress from tinu ma free GoldBod it is a no ba na se side we be priso a na depreciation no ekoso say on say ukọ IMF a the aka any special drawing right the owo nyina deplete how dey deplete it is a deplete your systems ni nyina sa na ye nka no crunch na ye ho a eno na ha me no
na me da say my informative phone trust na young Combra on 05.
There will be a serious corrupt case ebe fee GoldBod ama penny ahihye no mu enti amount for
Sammy Gyamfi GoldBod
Sammy Gyamfi GoldBod amount for figures na ba no ne sika bi afa nkrofo bi ne amaye na ebe ma Ghana fo buafu
really
enti we say workers are in omo kai in a particular no buafu say they be cost strike and that is how there no for the first time I mean who say people are going to different if I say nurse example say nurse for any teachers or cost strike at the same time.
Wow,
it is going to be a very tough year for the government and the president, and it's going to affect this country to the extent that our CD dollar rate now you want to stable a bit shoot and no there it is going to happen.
26 the budget is sealed, so he didn't even tell us that the 400 million Ghana cedis that he said he was going to reallocate, he didn't even show us where it's going to come from. It is just about talk. You go to the appendices, you find out the numbers, you see the numbers. All the long talk is the appendices that will tell you whether truly that is going to happen or it is not going to happen. All that he said today, I'm going to add 1,000 kilometers of road. Go and check the appendices and see whether the budget, the numbers support an extra 1,000 kilometers. The numbers have been sealed already. It was sealed in November 2025 when the 2026 budget came into was passed in Parliament. So these are some of the things that we want you to go and look at. Don't just take, the talk as he said it, but go and look in the numbers. And finally, my former minister mentioned the fact that already Bank of Ghana had spent $900 million on GoldBod. When you look in the mid-year budget review, it also gives you your 2025 actuals. And in 2025, the 2025 actuals, for the last quarter, the Minister for Finance also spent another $297 million on GoldBod, translating into 4.5 billion Ghana cedis. Let's ask them, what is this at all with GoldBod that is siphoning so much money from us? $900 million from Bank of Ghana and $297 million from the Ministry of Finance. That is one thing I expect the journalists to go in there and find out from them what exactly is happening there. That from Bank of Ghana, you are siphoning $900 million, and then from Ministry of Finance, $297 million. Just in the last quarter. When I say the last quarter of 2025, I mean October, November, December of 2025. And that is worrying. And I expect our journalists and the people who really think and care about this nation to go and find out what is it.
I don't see it. GoldBod is incurring a lot of losses. It is a huge challenge we are having at GoldBod. The day Ghanaians would open and lift the veil on GoldBod, you'll be shocked. The losses are huge, and nobody should be misled by all these their so-called media outing and saying all manner of things. They should open their books. If you say you've declared profit, at what cost? Profit at what cost? So we are watching government, we know that so far they've not been able to fulfill their promises. So far, they have disappointed the youth. The jobs they promised to create, they've not created them. The growth that we're expecting, we are not seeing them. Areas of infrastructure, roads, expansion of facilities in our hospitals, our schools, they are not showing.
Yes, Ghana for kakra ya wo hwe why convince Sammy Gyamfi any ato forcing ombe ko jail anazo monko Ghana for me si ombe ko jail atre comment section one yes ombe ko jail Ghana for me wie yo na Ghana for bi so kasaye omu wie Ghana for ne ato forcing Ghana for market one say butu ana men's gold for no so no after he repost to John Dramani Mahama se bo yere wo kan Ghana for na kusi buafo kusibuafo so aka nsem bi aganafo me say this who kotie na wo wi ebe den ye bedi hu nkomo ganafo mom ye nkomra
pade bia ni media budget review num ye ka budget a wo ye Ghana ne atie me ye ka budget te say wo no yere ewo fie na wo bo na konhoma waso okodwom wo kodidwa be wo fufu ama wo and then I behia, mehia A, mehia B, mehia tomato, mehia jenny, mehia ginger, me pa krantianam, me pebanche, me pemankeni, mankeni fufu na mpese midie, near discana shawban in some. Anti ukunu, dear was pattern say. Once a woman was sikane dear, or poor Juma, what I said a man came for Sifie, she guso kama, she near kasa, krantianam edaso, she near kasa. Wabani kodwamu wie no be ka kire wo say me ya practical work pa wo wabani kodwamu wie no be ka kire wo say mira me magi sika bi o ho de me kodwamu no a eyi a dwene sure because who misano wanu ase mira me magi sika bi o de wa me ho na ye Fufuani akrantia no so a anajo ukunu bedie no so a wantimi anye ni akwa na se ba that is what I'm saying sir media budget review no me empty
ne ka na da hodo
empty hwinim
ne ka na da hodo
the finance minister to me wan ka hute because say your agri sector wo ho na agri sector entimi move education sector ntimi move sector by sector bibia ntimi nkwa na be ka kire say akonhoma sika no ede ma wo no wa hweso yie ebia ka that means there is a problem.
They scammed everybody, including
that means that means sika nkwa ministries no budget no abaje ye no budget akonhoma sika no sika ne nkwa
Shenia kasa.
Mementi ase no no.
Shenia kasa.
Because sika ne kwa nke be improvement.
Sure.
Sector by sector. Kaba bi egro bibia ekoso kama but we ye hu ne saa. Ye twa sika ama education minister. Say won fanya nyuma. E senior high school ahodo mu. Abane ba was say by the close of 2026 and 2027. Hey. 20, double track you betwem.
Hey.
So say the ankwati yes here the course in 2029.
Hey.
Now 2029 no this about what yakunya so.
Hey.
2029 no now when this aban what yakunya so.
Hey.
Abraham people aban yakunya so and a double track and enya papa and ankra ne bre ye ba ye betwam. Maba wa yi amant betwam.
Hey, Yera Mahama.
Yera mu second year. And ankra mu ntimi ntwam. Third year and so mu ntimi ntwam. Fourth year mu ntimi ntwam. Mo twan fifth year 2029. Mu be kofie.
Hey.
Because adwan mu ntimi nye.
Hey, President Mahama.
Enti se akonhoma sika no enwo ho a. Enkasa double track de twam anke be yi.
Adwin kase so da ya adwin ke to antiase.
Na one ma Greek minister akonhoma sika. Now be bu akonta. na a whole agric minister atimi ahwe Ghana fo anim wamfa bu ama Ghana fo no aba bonten na wode abeto dwa sa ankokɔ na aye chae no omawe aye yɛfrɛ akokɔ nkwan omawe ni aka ne saa watra waba wo kɔ twam no akɔhoma sika na mede ma wo no wo de kɔyɛ dan mede anu aduadua na hwi agu waba abɔne
ne ka na da hɔ no
ana mede yɛ aduane enkyina tware nkwan num wo yɛ ɔba abɔne
sɛ ya anya wo te ba ne bi ni mpansa
bibi ankoso o
ne ka na da hɔ.
Yes, Ghana for mama memra mu ha kakra. Ghana for media budget ne nkɔfo no media budget ne bibi wo ma na se bibi nim. Misi bibi nim atro no, wa wo no no nya kase hwi nim media budget no hwi nya dai. Enim Ghana for me say mo de mo meyenko tie de adwadifo no so ye dai. Eka ene de ye friend say former ye friend say finance minister ono so kan Ghana for ye wi amedikusi buafo de be dey ebeto aso hey media budget dey me say this is what wani na ho the real ebro hene esi achechire mama wate ase no Ghana for what de wa won ti ase hwi wo ma bibi wo ma na ase bibi nim Ghana for mo nya hwi nim
in the sales they are making, whether good or bad in terms of the profits they are making, or are they recording any losses? Today we'll be taking a cross-section of the traders at Makola Market to find out their views and their review 6 months down the line, and also if they have any expectations ahead of the budget review today.
Customers yatu ni asasa la ko bia si koma yede beble na person be kan ko because ento se sa me tontos kiti ba ko 5 cedis. So what is the essence of akofo ka se ne me ma ye fo abla me tontos 5 cedis. Eti finance minister e bia se bo na mbe twa to se u nipa simesi ana wa wo to se munya market anata mo bibia enye ba ko a no mo ni dadifo na kasa no bibia ye ba ko
mo me share market ni maye na mommy reduce nyema so kakra emaye na nkrofo meto ade emaye because eyedin yakwanwa na wafoka aba wo betena sisa na yenhwe wanim na wo kofie akwala bedidi osum bedidi ubebu nsuo hwe light bill nti yenhwe maye na reduce kakra maye na nkrofo wo fie beto ade emaye ya meka chance wo mwe na ye mobbo pa dwadifo ye mobbo nyema no ukwa sokoto oba ya nto oba bo na o se mahama sa ate nyema so na de na mo de mo ayere so enso wonte hwe so kwasua mienu 5 so kwa se yase atum se ukoto 65 wotu obanya 5 makos bibia abo ya de ye ho chire ye nti ye sre nada won moye won lusu nyema ye hu hwe fiti Monday ebesi na Thursday ya mijira mi ni 200 da so de bia me fuka akofie na mafo aba. Yes, I think it's on better petrol. Into almost to do a work with your crowd because they say no cano, me Malam Obama through 3 times, and some of my bedu a crowd, and you may cry the trap price at Tosho. Who cock us 50, 30, who come Malama 20, who needs the can just open China side, who are clear to me and Sunday a coffee and yes, throw them. I'm go near Mamma Cacra. And yeah, I'm more back. I'm on the point I never had any be robber there no. Oh no, and from my would you see that so chair and I would you see for my from my fast and I then no penny at the swammer. Oko my I see at 2 BBM. Okota then and I the best of say at 2. Yeah, now soon that Benny or 2 but they will see at 2. And the answer your banning so you have you fit on a pie buyer and told you 50 gun and pull my in Pacho near money there. Enkoso na sana yetonu asa na yetonu ebia price no omu sana price no kono emba for sana etini sa na fe de say ye be kan budget na ebia nyama koso ye be ye de yenim de be ye enchi ye pa chocha be kan budget a emra de na chacha mu titi nyama so mai na ye nya ye hu de so ti ase de chacha de hwe enkoso wo krom
Say, see, I dear, and your man send and your man corner. Is your man cost. They say if you no pakura me buy me baby shade me tin sanwom. And I'm a full cam by if you no pa me baby shade and me buy Colgate Chaco 20 cedis. Me buy ba kona yato. Obi aba no baby sana ka 20 cedis na. O se ne boy eden ye nte so. O se the pep student, we baby sa pep student. Me see 20 cedis. O se enso ye ma 15 cedis. Me so me kokoton store ton 18 cedis. Me ton 15 cedis. They say no ma e kostro ti yeslemo. Mon share my na no memra form.
For those traders, the numbers in the budget will matter only if they translate into lower costs, more customers, and a little relief at the end of the day. As Parliament prepares for the Finance Minister's address this afternoon, the women and men of Makola say they are not looking for promises. They are looking for proof that the economy is beginning to work for ordinary Ghanaians once again. Safa Boyne, TV3 News, Makola Market.
Today, we can now boast that the debt stock has come down. How did we achieve that? After the negotiation, $5 billion of Ghana's debt stock was cancelled outrightly, cancelled from our debt stock. Another $4.7 billion was gained by Ghana as savings. This is why the debt to GDP is now 45%, and not because the minister implemented any policies. If anything, the minister has borrowed more, and they continue to borrow. Let me now come to revenue. As far as revenue is concerned, their revenue measures have not worked. They haven't worked at all because they are not meeting the target. In fact, what the minister presented there was criminal because the program revenue.
Yes, Ghana for mumma mimremu mesi atofo asen de on mesi edi be ye kokobo ana na to kana bude mesi nsawom de mummem Ghana for mesi se atofo asen wo sika omfa kwa renovation won nsawom no mumma swimming pool omumma air condition ma na mesi ni sunsuma di kan e won nsawom majeli no me voice of nsawom majeli da Ghana for muda mumma yenkoto aso na ewia yenkodi nkomo Ghana for mesi ebusa bi atofo oh, ni subani ne ya wow how many years na de be ma no atofo ehun hia me treasure men kan tell me say 20 years and say one untumi abo bracket fatals bibi aha that for mame hu adwentre wo ho me ko hemra.
Within a year in office, we will pay the full amount due every victim of the reckless handling of the financial sector cleanup.
And we are saying yes, men's gold for more million. First ally.
They are Mahama can and run men's gold can.
They are all parts. You say all financial institutions. No present this for
oh, including men's gold.
Yes, of course. All of them. All those.
No, are you certain about that? Because details.
I am telling you, they are all parts.
Men's gold.
Wherever they are listening to me now, I am speaking in my capacity as communications officer of the party. All of them are covered under this promise. They will all be paid back.
In one
when that's what John Dramani Mahama Baba betrio munina sika mo microfinance, men's gold, savings and loans. Ye betrio munina sika mo info. They can identify with this rescue mission.
Betria men's gold for also.
All of them.
An unregulated entity.
Unregulated by who?
A few moments later.
At any time somebody set up a microfinance or savings and loan company, they run it aground and they just go and a central bank move in and collapse it and transfer the debt to the Ministry of Finance to pay. Am I going to stop paying school feeding? Am I going to stop paying capitation grant? Because the money must come from somewhere. The money must come from somewhere. Tell me, what am I cutting to pay the person who gave his investment to a private person to mismanage? So I have fundamental issues with that. I think government has no business in going into that and be taking those responsibilities to pay. In fact, we do not even have the money to do that.
Within a year.
I've heard you speak on the floor, our parliament. One of the issues are why consistent about, and I believe, say, enunciate one major issue we determined the elections 2 years ago. Now, unemployment. And on unemployment, what Kasabi brain, especially on 24-hour economy. Ochina, the minister presented budget review now. You expect him to touch on 24-hour economy?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. My main chair were TF also.
Didn't you expect the whole minority caucus Juma on behalf of the New Patriotic Party and the people of Ghana? You expect to say Minister no Ebe Kasaba the 24-hour economy because 24-hour economy was their flagship economic intervention 2024. Omutoma Ghana for you say no no be solve Ghana economic problem no. On say time 2024 election no. Not two issues are ubano economy ni mo hydrogen bako stability. On say from 2022 time global shocks no emu pija ya pa no ye economy ni hihimie. Crude oil prices could do at a point about $128 Brent crude per barrel. Currency no now depreciated significantly. And the petrol prices on the Ghanaian market, senior petrol so translated into transport fares near Duanini Bibia. Now, any memoir you started a process of recovery. Obekaya process of recovery no under the IMF program no and no boy made inflation bad down 54% be 23 appreciation of the currency started in Q4 2024 near there. By the time now another problem so they say nipa be near Juma. In fact unemployment was about 31% at that time. Into our promise they say the 24-hour economy but then the productivity be in the economy because say Juma ba ko nipa miensa 3 shifts number until they could triple the workforce around that time. Now productivity no so bit me my export na forex na ma currency no so agina. That was the economic strategy the buy the year nyoma youth ni energy and there. Since buy you so abandon 24-hour economy as they advertised it to us.
Have they?
They have abandoned the 24-hour economy as they advertised it to us. Some catching say 133.
Yeah, but they told you it's a first year, no? Now say omu put building blocks no together, and you called for sa document.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Omu the policy document ne buy.
Absolutely.
Omu say omu set up a secretariat. Omu the office.
Omu the mrakra buy.
Omu the home run aba. And the affair na then they are going into the implementation phase. Now we've heard say oko downstream oil sector now. Filling stations they are started with 24-hour economy. They've told you that.
But my call back to norm see year one or more building blocks.
Yes.
No more the home running policy near there. But policy no name run they buy any building blocks on the buy. It has nothing to do with what they told us about. I'm a ranking member on the economic committee. From page 1 to the last page, we went through it. It has nothing to do with it. Don't be buying. I'm so much 24-hour economy secretariat. As our secretariat, I was so much more export. I was so much more small and medium scale enterprise. And na Ghana Enterprises Agency, Ghana Export Promotion Agency,
yes.
And no codifying into a piece of legislation. It had nothing to do with
133.
In fact, to the extent say yen yekofa manifesto be kayo say no, what promise 133. Nti inyuma na mo ka sa mo be create 133 na mo create no customs, GRA, passport office, DVL in kekane ade no. Private members amendment. Say yen fen bill no. Me my honorable yabo ama efia constituency any move sa proposed amendment no omo reject it said there be omo pay 133 bia o enti sa de no the bar parliament me kensi so there had nothing to do with a 24-hour work cycle or a 133 shift or tripling the workforce as they explained it to us. In fact, what kind the object of the bill and any provisions are about accelerated export development, about small and medium scale enterprises, just a duplication of functions are not Ghana Enterprises Agency, ni Ghana Export Promotion Council. And until now, we no. Say, almost more can say, almost signing MOUs of about $5 billion. Almost as also the list be about some filling stations be Charlie laughable. And let me tell you why it's laughable. Obi, you know, before NDC, near him several filling stations are here 24 hours, and now several filling stations are here anajo.
Yes.
Friday night, me call Potters, Echo Vampire. Oh, sorry, I say India for a Juma on factory bureau, Potter City, Etelwano, or Muzwana Junina Yejuma, even before the NDC came to power. But some person who's a policy now would buy, there's a positive correlation between that policy and Ubia what you do is say we demonstrate so be a policy intervention we na me de buy. And also me say no bentin because of intervention. In fact, in econometrics, you will analysis be a friend show test. Into obe peke the data before the intervention and the data after the intervention. Now the RSSP whether or not adena are translating in BBS anyhow. No, my colleagues say 300 and something filling stations be a jumana. Do not filling stations are juma. In fact, on number no man that state, omunko usu night market. No munko ade omo na ye juma usu night market the dana before 24 hours bebano. Any watchman for ne ade nyina na ye omo night juma no munko ade nyina nkan because this is a laughable approach to say we na say 24-hour economy no ayejuma. No serious economist or no serious policy analyst will accept this. And the reality is that the 24-hour economy policy, as they sold it to millions of young people,
and yeah, no need in
fact, I don't know they've thrown it out.
In the Ochina, what do you expect the finance minister to say about on
to be truthful, say the omuka and yeah no eno mo diso na the omuka so mo diso no crampon and so baby. Mami chawa de Ghana Statistical Service say on the watch of the NDC no youth unemployment west today. It's now 32.4%. Data we can't on the floor of Parliament. It's now 32.4%. It's worse. In fact, greater say we are disaggregation by regional. Greater Accra region, Crampo there, is now about 48 point something percent, almost 50%. Into Greater Accra, Ushianko for 2 be back unemployed. On the watch of the government that said it was bringing a tripling of the workforce and a 24-hour work cycle. Into quite obvious, said the 24-hour economy almost say no nana a big critique. Increase in productivity, normal export to be every month. Forex said they be supported the Ghanaian economy. No, yamutu. Yamutu. It's not happening.
In the current budget, are buying a implement no. Make budget available for 24-hour economy.
110 million Ghana cedis. Out of Sika, property amount. For the last 2 years, do you know how much money that we have given them? The people of Ghana have given the NDC government.
As in Sika buying and spending, yeah, the amount buying say on farm more.
Now on what they open fenye. On any priorities. On no bichusu. Se budget no enyama na mitro. On no chro on. Tiye the yenska the amano. So on chef for the priorities. Unim. 650 billion Ghana cedis. What a figure no?
650 billion Ghana cedis
in 2 years. Any the amount NDC are buying. And on no say the flagship economic policy. We use 110 million Ghana cedis.
Yes.
It even shows how they prioritize this thing. There no crampo no. Saska no say, I don't know why allocating. They say you clearly and then a press conference you can say NDC obofega men yini. Obofega I also call check and say how much cash has actually been received by the agency because our Greek minister Amayati CSA. So NDC be catch us say we're releasing 1.6 billion a Greek minister obwa because sa audio money now wakano ubeka commitment authorization na be 900 million and ubeka a Greek ministry ankasa next car baby do be 400 million and even this 110 million now or more kano me sure say by the time we sit down half year and look at how much has been released say minister be kano crotch now I'll be surprised if it's even more.
But what if the minister tells you tomorrow say the 110 no was not say sikaya de koye 133 a sika to maybe help run the secretariat, but rather consistent with no promise, no a private sector no be incentivize na omumum afanipa sa minister and that's what they are going to do.
Because that's not what you told them. Who catch them say? Okay, lecture be crop fikumaze akwano better natives say uko pudong they you be say watch also we went through a full debate on this matter and they exhausted the answers. They told us now the architecture of that policy is 133. So when you release money for the secretary, what are they supposed to use it for? They're supposed to use it and ensure that the 133 happens. And I may catch us say, maybe sure say because it's revenue measures are collapsing. And until even the expenses are more promising, including this 110,
yes,
they are not able to meet it. I'll be surprised if they've even given them, maybe 60% of SARS.
Of SARS.
I will be very, very
surprised. na said ye mo year with 1D1F.
Yes.
Mo announcing incentive package.
Yeah.
Private sector no and jump on no mo nye di on person mo ye no. So no so ba no be yes announcement nibi of incentive packages ebe pushy agenda 133 na mo be atum.
Why is it taking you 2 years
to do that?
To bring the incentive package for the most important economic policy that you yourself said was going to transform the Ghanaian economy. 2 years. Meanwhile, by where you Chief Justice, or the tribunals bail aba. And no crime, your honey friends say, "I coach TikTok about Kumasi, they are bringing here to Accra." Ubai, look at what you are prioritizing. Now, most important economic intervention is taking you 2 years. I feel Babe announce it. Incentives. It will be too little, too late. Because you see, whenever you announce incentives, it takes a while for the private sector to internalize it and then respond to it. It says, "I bring now be announce incentives." Time ben a private sector na be internalize it. Now I'm responding to. In any case, this media review is not a platform to announce new strategies, new interventions, new policies. What kind of Public Financial Management Act and media review? An opportunity for you to update us on policy now or the bar before the year now. Your man who see kaseko no
saying echo
say. That is what this is about.
And also
that's what it's about. It's not about Ubabe announcing new announcing new policies. All the measures about Ubejis Canada about trees went to me and yet. Media and also announcing new policies. Now, one of serious.
But request is from Parliament.
We understand that he's coming by statement. He's not coming by motion. He's just coming by statement to inform the House. So he's not coming to request for new money. So, or make any new promise, it is an unfunded promise. Nobody should take it seriously. Any new promise that is made, Ochnano, it is an unfunded promise. Because near Oba na funded no krano. Onyes can fenye. Yenya kwani according to the revenue conversation. I'll take you into that.
Yes, Ghana for I upon Kroma or your prophet. Ghana for also what here sorry and Komeni nipa chain owusu bempa ni we because asimo kai enya na down Ghana for na me 24-hour economy no obi ahunye mehi say Ghana we advert no Ghana we advert no say we uta formula for a mebru no formula 133 ejuma baako enipa miensa Ghana ne ho de emehi no ne eba obedem. Say what NDC for aquatrasi no abo motiri mu po no matimi abeda Ghana for abescam Ghana for obedem Ghana for Ghana obedem anazo onem Ghana for onazo obedem bi because Ghana for ko to abama NDC na ye sa Ghana advert no ye because empenifo no for mu policy kura bai no o mind me explain ana akrake to say si ya franco to nse o msi e jan no a pocket on be to Ghana for tirim ejuma ba ko nipa miensa na me se wo ya advert na tam na so aso me bibi papa Ghana for o se kasa eyem frema Ghana for mumie nkotie kusi buafo Ghana for kusi buafo de emu ode pa entimi nkasa kese ewom entimi nkotie na de mahwe no so mami hu ma dwentre wo ho mumie nyanto boase pa emie ntimi se NPP ni for de enyansa fo nko a mumie nkotie mra
economic variables no and one that be higher na Ukraine and na micro level no ya na ya jemu o de minua ni din no ya na ebitim kaka bento the okeka ni ya the micro level the ebe ni pass na kasa he talk about hospital which is health so what media na sa na ma ni nyu na ma no okeka yi ni nyina
and no fall under the micro
micro health micro a household expenditure
yes
so what you say you pressing under household ni ebiemu bebre
component in the doors
it o share no say so ka say growth which are yenya no a busa hu say growth no efirenti na me busa say nipa utiri ya kese na wonan ne wonsa anya kese na utiri no nko aya kese tani nyina ka growth ho ya ba fra o say
deficit wo tikudum
say ka growth
yes yes Ghana for mami mra kakra ah say wuti ya kese asa wafu ya kese asa na ya hwiahwia ne wonza ya hwiahwia Ghana for wase ye be frɛ wo say men kan je say ye be frɛ eye kosroko we eduabo ya bo udia Ghana for ana me boa ya wuti ya kese ne wafu ya kese wona asa tata ya Ghana for eduabo ya bo udia Ghana for economy no ya bo udia mese budget no eduabo da so anesa wunim de tia fashion comment section Ghana for mo me enkoto so kusibu afo me penase pe ye me ya pa se ase one me diba wo me achi okodi kanachi hon na ye me kakra bat aso no wonye wefuo ni bia the base fo ni bia na dwumu da ho rough mo da mo ye enkoso me yentie mo da mo hu aba ye be fafru ni nsema wo kam mo me enkoso me yentie no
eni nyina ka ho it growth no a proportionate
yeah
eti growth no growth one growth coming from industry what you say
Fox
but industry no Ghana hapa no majority of them use the primary product and said
okay
yeah agric e play major role. Most of your near my yan henina when we say fat no yan crop for ye wa henina you free near the adinina no near the no where yes in any abetet na kromo tete no ani yensu adwuma ni ho no nana na ya papa no near the ade no wo kron kitu amu ye kuye o yes odini papa echi what me dey na say
yeah
because wo ye kuya wo papa no nkwafuo mu da
bebre kwa
aha enso wan hwe ya wo mba wo no mu nkwafuo mu da
Fox
na de enete wo ma wo fo mo nko eti growth no se eye bibi te se de make se eye agric no a ye beboa no a eho de etimi di nipa no ewura ho ntem na raw material no na eba but say policies inconsistencies be we what the job be papa
policies
inconsistencies and alignment you see say ye bibia in isolation silos policies ye connecting the linkage no enye enti na make as a cabinet no and no the main can they go for cabinet meetings but adie bi eba one obi hunahuna the cedi dollar situation because former vice president who was a messiah for the redemption of the currency.
Yes.
Enti waba obe challenging no ha. A wild goose chase. A quixotic adventure.
Okay.
What you say? A journey to nowhere for water, a trip to Sahara.
Fasobi eniho.
And fasobi emba. Oye ne sa. Now you suit na forest no say what the barber saw up the Syria. You are over subsidizing importation of goods that will compete with our local industry. Unkumu rice farmers. Nana rice farmers in Unkumu.
Ebasa importers in Mumudi.
You subsidize China and take in Numania the other. The jobs are situated there. Yeah, distributors and consumers. Keke. Sustainable jobs no ho. What the name aba Vietnam ni what the aba wako take wako faba na wa subsidize amano. So ati ase.
Atiteso.
Yankofo enso a edo mu yi bigana rice for no nso akwa dobi. Kobusa wo mu se wo mu no yeta na. Akukọ no kobusa Boris ene mochiri best no a yede wo mu ba no. Kobusa nza hemfo na Ghana for we mochiri best imported.
I see.
Enipa ekumu akukọ a yetwa ne mene. See. They said they are not quite a be papa no me and you didn't see osi tutu no ho no. Yes eh. And 80% of akukọ nkwan ye be kosu wo Kumasi he nyina da. Yeah imported chicken. And I been tell me boy.
Fozu, I go fozu.
Obi akure nkuma akukọ. Wo fefie be 20 na nkukọ wi abamu no a. Anhwe ye be say 10 5 bi na ekuma akukọ. She.
Ukame hu bi achepa.
Who be at all? Me guma koko mochire. Ni emusa se ye kofa fidi. Chicken with growth hormones. Yeah, do ma besum ha ni yewe. Adanyi a policy binti. E na afeli ye. Wa ma dollar aye cheaper. Enti enanu nipa na kwa akoto. Wantimi ampresi embago. What you say? Former president. Enkoko nketenkete de entre mani abre no a. NDC for mo hwe so enye ni yie no a wo no mukum wie no. It is a very good policy.
Nkoko nketenkete.
Yes. Methodology was wrong. The methodology was wrong. Approach, you know. Kawaso identify portrait champions in the system. No other woman really no ye are growers. No one supervise woman. And I bent won't me Fox. Now bet me obi e Boris no ye supervisor bet ma ko win nko.
Ho ni ka de.
Yes, Ghana for the Kusibu Afukan, one in a yard. Say you are Don Romani Mahama, then Coconket, a come maybe 5, 6, 7, new ways, or Munya woman, say Comodima, Darko farms more, or more my young Cocon Cassian in a rain, baby, no more as what more. Call them my almost so much and a Ghana for, and come to me Fenipa and Yadmana. Is it a papa kind? One in a yard, Ghana for one in a yard and tray, yes, 7 in a yard, because when you have Coconket, dear Don Romani Mahama approaching. I am wrong, give a pay. Natural offer. Yeah, be crazy. Call them. Me voice crop. Me a vegetarian. Me coco. Me mujamro. Me nam. I call them. Me voice here. I can me coco. But end this if anyway anymore. That docro and sonam crank out. Omudi a jet for 2 hours. Na sanko full way. What in coco ako chomosa. Galafo. And every no barrier. Galafo. It is the year we kusibu afokan 1 year dinner. Comment section or try yes. Fashion ha partner and we Trebi Bisho. Therefore, Mummy and Quatuaso. Yes, Mummy and Quatuaso.
President Kwa Lanche factory you know I am Bekuno no. Some the name you chemo became no area hon. Kwa Lanche baby I bear you know. They say me kwa na mchako be ni e ba Bekuno ha. Nkwafonari.
Nano or the budget ne buy no for your capture and conketenkete no or capture ne say was it to scale up food security and agro-industrial value chains covering feed Ghana grains and vegetables and the conketenkete livestock program among others. We are providing 245 million Ghana cedis in 2026 to the Ministry of Agriculture.
This is very good. But a year, poultry importation, yeah, equals 600 million. Yeah. Etika, Uncle Consul, what my youth know, yo. So,
yeah,
youth near. Make I say, maybe honorable Hannah Bisu. Dutch government. Portrait if will be by us, I mean, this in a power.
Okay.
Me will details in na. Komo dada and say, so no wa Greek.
Yeah.
On person document be nanka and kokono. Yamu make free Holland. Nanka had ye yamuntunko siano. And was a minion, sir. And on that day Coco program be by and another 60-40. 40. No, omu din.
Sir.
And kokono. A 60-40 concept no any other no we hear percentage say importation no afa say e wo local it wo fa 10 tons wa
yeah
ubeto local 40 4 na 6 no we import waba na dey combine which was a very good policy yeah and you cherish it you fu no betimi ayen kokwa yen nya den at least obi ayen akokọ at least kakra eda eti won mu nyina na ye ene ye catch up say e ho no eye policy a ebeboa meme de say President John Dramani Mahama obe faili baby anko a e ho de won faili na e ho ye low hanging fruit
ye wura kusibu afo pa eni pe mu afeli ya we was mu ofeli wa feli won kofi Ghana for de hu abufuo ebe to abetia no 2028 wa feli Wa failure ma message say NDC fo nyina me say atofo say your friend say chief of staff we Ebeka Duru Debra your friend say Esiedu Nketia your friend say one omo vice oledi pankei aye hu de oye so omo nya ye ka omo nyina bom baako edisi omo fa me face Dr. Mohammed Baumia me say enam omo policy omo ade ba omo aferi ntino Ghana for be dey ebeto aba dey eti omo Ghana for omo aferi na zo omo aferi ye me say omo aferi a trash o conversation me say push me ba no ye be bubu no Dr. Mohammed Baumia obetri mu be 2 billion Ghana for mama hu adwentre bo me enko to aso
eno kwa de nkokwa no uba onhwe uye campaign no a ubehu o ubetimi akọ poultry farm ho a visit wo that very day poultry farms be say ahanu across the country will become your campaign grounds. No video na ucha na de nam na nkokọ no na kra no matutu no mo nam campaign be na time there minia mo betra ha mo kasa Uya wa bobo yi Christmas e ba ke guha ka prempe assembly abia se yi yese nkokọ nketenkete no so me kwa me de nkokọ nketenkete no munyi firi so na mo pedi binte so mbe san rewo mo so na ya mo meye na nke ye ton obi say me ko ba bi ka 24 hour economy uti bi kura betimi dedicate porch bi se e ho ne ye ton ta ne ma ni nyina na nke mu anu gu ho no na obi e kwa anu okoyi ni ye lab nye growth mo then mining say uba na o ka say growth no so afri mining na aba nana mining no ne dey e boost to you know growth no ho dey free baby a growth no e free ba no eno so ye problem emaye by way of mining what dey o mo kan no small scale mining
97.9
whether registered or not registered or registered illegal or whatever it is ni nyina ya mo kind of mining so because they say obi en chreme who have registered the so called galamsey yes ya wo mo to no ye publish wo mu di ma mi ni nyina nso ka mining na yi no ho ya si growth aba what you see
yeah
aye and so ubeja ya ma usi kura pro ama no to anya growth o titi and so e ya depa so empopo wa e kese Jembri kutu ayawda eyaw na wonfuru na peja e kese ye papa
97.9
enti no e hon so youth ni yesi ye e de bone ba e de mercury e de wotimi ba garamse no kura timbe yiri fire sense ase ese nuane ni nyina so na ye mani ye yo
charity
ena ye de enso so ba yenso ye hia gold no now let me put you on record my main country honestly
okay
eniema say and I think say abi aman for be kase ebe ha wo mu de but that is absolutely necessary.
Okay.
One, without the activities of the small scale
97.9
mining in the next 10 years Ghana may not be able to stabilize its currency.
Yes, Ghana for mommy mrem ha kakra Ghana for ye wurakusibu afa kan sembio eti dollar account wo bia bi to wo wate mesi wo bia bi to wo na papa wo kan asema ni loto ta to papa wonye kase pe obede ubedi Ghana for eti say wo can in the next 10 years because the way John Dramani Mahama esia say o mine no esia say o mine no se Ghana fo amu mani ana ho anto abenti 2028 ama Dr. Mohammed Baumia ama se show mine for Ghana for in the next 10 years no $1 about 10 billion 10 billion now be there e be chance Zimbabwe there Ghana for what mo dem say ya ma show me kan say end this ya ma show say any 10 billion wa where be say John Dramani Mahama transfer beyond your friends 2028 wow where be say so untimi mo Ghana for mo got to aso yen hwema ntima me hu adwentre say any 10 billion be say Ghana for
Inti yempe kwan papa so 27. Yes.
Small scale mining.
Yes, activities here bebo. Ami anya gold ni bi. They are building. What we contribute to more?
Small scale mining.
Yes, they are building reserves.
Line ni nti na ho na akodi na ni kwa
ho na akodi ese ho na akodi se ho na say ya me na akodi
abe distractive
ho na akodi
etiyam methodology pa ya be fa so a ye betimi enya no na edin garam say yenyi mfiri wo mo so ho ni yempe dim papa bi mfento wo what you say aha yempe dim papa bi
say I'm small friend cooperative mining you say
o say
is that first
tell your politics I see the TV be ade betu to be aya dey ato so
cooperative mining also
o say omo friend say
cooperative mining yes
en say bibi nye din na hia methodology ankasa
operation no
operation no ankasa en say nsuo na en coding samoni a ye benya gold na free from ho aba me eno na hia me enti empani mfo do omo nko Australia da monko South America nko hwe South Africa ya da no timi what you say na no country we say Uganda and Tanzania no mwanya bi obo ko South Africa kusuya garam say for na duro e no mo se hwe ye kwa kusuya China ye what wa your friend China ye so oba ha betu garam say China ni wo methodology na otimi di gold no a emfa boni bi ema e di ebenta
okay
eti yankwa yesa de ni bi na yemfa mo aye nkrofo no ni enyi gold no de one nyame de cheye ye beyi na yani aye wo mu sese no ye nim de no aye di yi sa gold no extra
Fox 97.9
ye extra
yes no any abro pass e beyi
ani am committed enough say ye be pebie ye nim kura ye be hwehwe bi ana China ni no awahu no wo ba ne ne sign agreement ya yen sign de won ko fa fidi papa mra no ne ye ko pede ebe hurahura ni ya chadi ana ya over politicizing man no as if say abaye thank you for political apparatchiks udi politics ya chia ni atwa bi ama I say Peter wote baby yikum nam yikum nantwie wosi wa ye be yi ne nsuru de bi ato baby ama na sako to di politics na chi no tiam no oba fam sara ene e command e hobie ye na ho ayehu na tena krobu a wo be ha ye ne na otum betra ye car front ho no wo nkna ho ene Jubilee house ho no be ha yes ko tena nguram
na pes kabra fie
kotirenguram na akwa ne nam ha ye wo mfre asumasi na ne ni nkomo o frɛ no na akɔne ade simply because ohu ayehu
so discharge okra
because who this one wa musa so there are difficult questions that will be asked after the budget any ade the Ghana for nyina nim what they everybody knows the here no me nim wonso nim obi nim ho no mo sa no obi nka se budget no read ya to
97.9
and NDC aban dia ya Ghana nyina dia sa budget we review bitim and e be kire se ya 2026 ya nsabe ya betima ya na sika de e be ntemo a so ho unsa nkwan ubase ntemo a na ya na nkwan ni timi yede enti na ya na the beginning of the year what you say aban no etiminya o mayi beginning of the year nkaban no etimi enya sika entem de ma ministries no na ko ma hye duma na se obi wo wa na ye command by September no when we are meetings nko ane seminar
distracted
so you have budget preparation as October they say time when be na away November September ending yes I budget preparations for 2027 budget you be reading no November the figures we yes I be review the figure way how to me professionally, technically, how reliable are these old figures if you want to indeed to rely on the figures? And your figures here, you did take a long-term decision, and I said there, figures here, any 3 months, well.
Then a man basa. Those figures now, macro figures now,
97.9.
Still na we wanna Kofosusu.
That be what so no macro near broad. I know they are Cassiano. Inflation, growth rate, I know they are targeted bigger. Yet they a test case. Yeah, they tested the health. And the health for and just how we are productive. You can be helpful but unproductive. So what you say? Opo ahun den pa so ehia no enya sa. Na ho di tua no. Enso capri ni bottom.
Aye.
The economy can be healthy but unproductive. And no and setting the basis for physical and monetary direction. Fiscal and monetary direction no let's start translating into micro level no ketwa. And nunti na fiscal no taxes and then ubeti biso ubeye we untu se na nkrofo bebre gensi me bi o mbusa me say betting tax and this for bi so mu twa me ni ade na kusi bu afusi nta bet na anyway na me say na betting tax ni ade do country bi amakoso bi ayeji o security implication e change no what will be adwuma no ayenya ninti and we conduct to be a friend is same e dey aya profession who politician na who defending no wuntimi man take down wunti onko to chacha no fa hwe na hafa na busade o to chacha ni say enti chacha ubetimi aya we dey ajama ama Manchester Chelsea where did he beche what we say the city which e wumem eti anu nunti enna saa ne ma eti anu say nanka was ade aye tackle honum no so generally there na jobs no so no unim say na one factor so a ebeye here me kan na me de awie any ade household no dependency uji usika eni pe suko mu na edi kwanu ne no so oyire no ma enamfo pressure unamo hey embe manu a muhu ma bi atetetetete wo ba kura wo ye ne se enfie bebre kura atwam no wo ti afie wo ti mitresi aba bi obeti ewu bia wonom ana bende wo de wu wo classmate no wonom min kan go obi anu ase engu obi anu ase wo ma me no papa nso wo ho enti na wo bi ntimi nkonu krom MP's dependency ratio and enti na MP's bebre nkom krom do
I know she
what you 3 months salary kura no di pie krom ho ebesa
okwa this will grab more than 50,000
yes sir so the odo mu din komo the dependency ratio is outrageous etinano ebinu kura abandon wo mo nkrofo a ya wo mo ja wo mo se jama they to base their life on faith
a year back kwati cost 20,000 one
Saturday uko pia Sunday mo asofo misremo mu ne mbobo misremo we dia correction no kwa ya sunlight uchu hu free mu enya adwuma
eyeye okohin
tight no uria wa be so seed ya chichem sa wa so seed what you are tight correction no so wasan yes tua mobro hunufo e boxo enu so nie me nipa wo bi dia wonye won be ye ne sa nipa baako e na so so mo kono mo nya one na yi o e bia 1 week wo be kono be 3 or 4 what you say anche ya all night e bia me nkasa bompa ye nye but sometimes religious economy what you say some people have taken the opportunity to manipulate religion as a professional, a business,
7.9.
not spiritual again, and a consultation fee in the womb. Now, Mary, no crow who yes, who nominate Joseph, who nominate the other, young guys, yes, who cry or tonto mama.
Thank you.
Yes, Yes, Garafo, Mammy who are danger. One day you rock with see Buafo, a yard, Nasa, only a yard, so only a yard. Match the comments as your fashion home. Say, sorry, no. You have a corner, Mato correction, baby, you mean, say, quite a quality. Say, oh, Marco to about Bonnie, maybe I can my summer phone. I Marco to about Bonnie, I may be a can home. Garafo, it's Mammy who are danger, or comment session. Messer say, share my what, share for to Facebook, share many pattern. Next, what the WhatsApp group is share many pattern. Any political platform be a share more be na me say 2028 the one social media. Yes, and no penny it's more and build a platform a 2028. Yes, you bet me the yen I'm in a favor NPP. Yes, Ghana for moon share mammy. And that's it.